Nah.
We have one lamb that has figured out how to push his way underneath this white netting because the lowest charged line is a few inches off the ground. And what it has taken is a ton of extra fence posts holding down that bottom on-charged line to prevent him from getting underneath. And especially when we have uneven ground like we do over here, we found that it really saves us a lot of trouble if we just take the time to tack down that fence line. So that's what I'm going to go through and do now. This is a spot that they haven't been in probably a month or two, and you can see there's a lot of really good forage here that they really enjoy. So they'll be happy here for the rest of this day, probably until tomorrow morning, and they'll get some shade from the sun. We've had really high heat the last 5 days or so, so what I've been doing is keeping them on this lower half of the hill in the hottest part of the day, and then in the evenings moving them up. Today I did it opposite. I let them graze up higher in the morning, and now that the heat is kind of kicked back up, we're moving them down here until tomorrow morning. This pad here doesn't look super exciting yet, but it is really exciting to us. We had a neighbor come by with his bobcat and level out this space so that we can put up a small barn this summer, hopefully in the next few weeks yet. We'll definitely make a video about it because we're so excited. What the barn will allow us to do is offer better shelter and protection for the lambs during their growing season. Right now we just have that small shed over there, and we've had a lot of extreme weather and it doesn't really seem to be stopping. So having a safe space to put our animals, our chickens, our sheep during those weather events will mean a lot of peace of mind for me and safety for the animals. Another reason we are wanting to build a more substantial structure is because we're planning to hold back these 3 darker lambs. They are blue-faced Leicester sheep. So our hope with holding those 3 back is that we can have them lamb in the spring, and we can have our own little flock of sheep here, raise just enough lamb for ourselves and maybe another family or two, and start working with wool in a more substantial way than we ever have before too. These fence posts just help keep this bottom line tighter, because the sheep that gets out has figured out that if he gets his nose under there, he can just go for it, and his wool protects him from the shock. So it really changed everything. He was getting out 5 or more times a day, and now he really never gets out unless I'm lazy about putting posts in.